How's it going, everyone? My name is George, and this is just my quick review of Morbius and my thoughts on the post-credit scenes. So, we're gonna get into Morbius. Now, this is the third film in the Sonyverse, and it stars Jared Leto as Dr. Michael Morbius, who is looking for a cure for this blood disease that him and his friend have. And I'm gonna be honest with this film. I did like the first half of this film. I did like Jared Leto as Dr. Michael Morbius. I prefer him much more as Morbius than I do as Joker. I like Matt Smith as his friend Milo. And I thought the cast was pretty good for the most part. Although it feels like Tyrese was kind of wasted a little bit, Tyrese Gibson. But despite that, the performances were fine. But then you get into the second act, and the film kind of loses it for me. The special effects are very iffy, especially when the vampires are jumping around and they're doing their vampire stuff. The bat imagery looks like it was taken from the Batman movies, like Batman Begins, Batman vs. Superman. Like, I'm pretty sure when he's in the container with the bats, Dr. Morbius, it looked like the scene from Batman Begins where Bruce Wayne is embracing the bats in the Batcave. I don't know, that's how it looked like. And it sounded like the Hans Zimmer score from Batman Begins was playing during that. So never mind the fact that Milo becomes a carbon copy of Morbius, similar to like villains in the MCU, becoming like copies of the heroes. They're stealing from Batman movies with the bad imagery, in my opinion, in the score. The fight, as soon as the final fight began, it ended. Like, it was the shortest final fight I've seen in a comic book movie. And then, like, right as soon as it ends, the movie ends. The action stunk, in my opinion. I mean, when Morbius first gets his powers and he's killing mercenaries, it's pretty cool, but after that, you don't really get anything special. Like, the Venom movies, regardless of how you feel about them, the action was very good in those movies. I did like the action. But the big problem with Morbius is not the bad action, the bad second half, Milo losing his character development and becoming an over top villain, the bad final fight. It's the post credit scenes. Oh my goodness. So, the first one ties into No Way Home, which is ironic because this film was supposed to come out before Venom Let There Be Carnage and No Way Home. And yet, we see a side effect of Doctor Strange's spell that sent everyone back, the one that made the world forget who Peter Parker is. Adrian Toomes is now in the Sonyverse, played by Michael Keaton. And we saw that he was in the trailers, but I don't think that was the original intent with his character. Like, the second post-credit scene where he's recruiting Morbius was the original intent, but not this first one where he magically appears. Like, is this a side effect of Strange's spell? Does Toomes even still know who Peter Parker is despite being in a new universe? Did they swap a character out? Like, I don't know. And then he's recruiting Morbius to join some team of people that can do some good. Like, what, are we going to make the Sinister Six in the Sonyverse into the Suicide Squad for Marvel? What are they thinking with this film? I really have no idea. What are they thinking with this universe? Because it feels like if there's going to be a villain from the MCU that would form a Sinister Six to go after Spider-Man, it would be Quentin Beck's Mysterio. And I know Mysterio's technically dead, but he's the master of illusions. He can fake his death. He would make more sense than Vulture would. Like, is he another character? Like, let's say he did fake his death. Is he also in this universe? Does this universe even have a Spider-Man? I know the director Daniel Espinosa said Spider-Man exists in this universe, but we have yet to see him. I know the trailers have the Toby posters, but it's definitely not Toby. People assume it's either Andrew Garfield or a new Spider-Man that they haven't casted yet. I feel bad for Andrew Garfield if it is Andrew Garfield. It just feels like he always gets like the sloppy seconds of Marvel content. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But yeah, if Spider-Man's in this universe, where was he when vampires are killing innocent people, causing trouble in the subway? Like, does this taking place like while Andrew Garfield's in the MCU? If it is Andrew Garfield, I have no idea. I honestly don't have a clue. And I don't know, like, what's gonna happen in Kraven the Hunter? Is the post-credit scene gonna send Kraven to the MCU? Are other MCU characters gonna come into the Sonyverse? I hope the Madam Web film, which is gonna be a Spider-Verse multiverse film, addresses these new rules. But yeah, with Morbius, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I like the first half of this film. I thought the film was actually gonna be better than the first Venom film because of how the first half was going. But then when Milo becomes a vampire and he becomes like an over-the-top Saturday morning cartoon villain, and things are just getting rushed, like the film just feels so rushed in the second half, and the special effects become bad, it just really ruined the film. And that's disappointing because, like I said, the potential was actually there, and they dropped the ball. And the post-credit scenes are some of the worst. And yeah, like, I'm wondering if this is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe, because we know there's Vulture wings. We saw them in Amazing Spider-Man 2. And it's like, where'd this costume come from? Because it has some similarities to the Vulture costume from the MCU. I don't know. But yeah, I don't want to be too long with this review, because what else can I say about Morbius that hasn't already been said? And I'm going to be doing a written review for this for the movie nerds. But yeah, all in all, Morbius was disappointing. It's the worst film in the Sonyverse, in my opinion. Worst of the Spider-Man cinematic universe films. And it's not the worst comic book movie ever. Like, this isn't fan-forstic bad for me, at least, but it's not good. I'm going to give it a C minus because I did like Jared Leto as Morbius. I did like Matt Smith's performance, even though he becomes over the top in the second half of the film. And the first half, like I said, was decent enough for me. So yeah, I'm going to give it a C minus. If you want to check it out, go check it out. I can't really recommend this film, but go make your own opinion, because I know some people actually love this movie, and that's fine. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Morbius, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe already if you haven't. Please share this with someone that is curious about Morbius, that's considering seeing Morbius. And heads up, next Sunday there will not be any videos, but then the following week there will be videos again. And I'm going to be focusing on more Marvel reviews in preparation for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And will that film address this? I have no idea. I don't even think Kevin Feige and the MCU knew what Sony was doing with that first post-credit scene for Vulture. But yeah, those are my thoughts. And I hope to see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.